Good evening and welcome to our July 21st Douglas County Board of County Commissioners meeting. We want to welcome those of you who are with us in the Douglas County Courthouse, as well as those of you joining us online. I do just want to pass on a bit of information regarding how we'll run our meeting and our hybrid format, both in person and on Zoom. All participants will be entered into the Zoom meeting with their audio muted, meaning the commission and the public will not be able to hear you. Presenters will be unmuted when their agenda item comes up. We ask that all online presenters use good conference call etiquette and mute their line when not speaking and introduce themselves each time they speak. If you have a public comment for an agenda item or under regular public comment, please use the raise your hand function on Zoom or come to the front of the room in person. Staff will call on you and unmute you. We ask that speakers give their name and address for the minutes and keep all remarks to 2 minutes. The county reserves the right to shut off the microphone and remove any speaker from the meeting if they are vulgar, rude, or inappropriate. A recording of this meeting will be available on our website after the meeting. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our consent agenda. Would either of the commissioners like to pull anything from the consent agenda?
No.
Would anyone joining us in person or online like to pull anything from the consent agenda? Okay. Then I think we are ready to vote on the consent agenda.
Commissioner Reed, I'll move to approve consent agenda items 1.1 through 1.3.
Second.
All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we will move on to general public comment. Do we have anyone here in the courthouse for general public comment? Please come on up. And as you're coming up, we'll just kind of let you know that there's a button on the microphone that we need you to push until that red light turns green. There you go.
My name is Marcia Gordon, and I live rural Eudora area. And the issue that we are here about is that it looks like we will be losing the position of our Eudora community navigator, which is a liaison kind of position to advocate for people in Eudora that need services in Douglas County, but have had a hard time navigating the system. Mary Kirkendall is currently in that position, and this was funded through, I'm not exactly sure how they worked it out, but AmeriCorps and the United Way. We're just very concerned about losing this position, and we realize that it is not the responsibility of the county commission to necessarily fund something that you didn't have a hand in before. I have concerns, especially with the new Delta variant coming out, with memories of last winter and how important our navigator was to connect to people who were really in dire straits due to having COVID in the home or not being able to work because kids were in quarantine. And that seems like a very real possibility with so many unvaccinated children. Anyway, in my work with the Eudora Food Pantry and the Eudora Giving Garden, a lot of good things have been happening because of this navigator position. And if we just welcome any ideas that you might have about how we can keep this great service that's helped us a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else in the courthouse for public comment? Please come forward.
I'm Nancy Wickersheim. from Eudora. And I too am very concerned about losing this program. It has inspired so many people in our community to do more than they've done in the past, of volunteering and giving and helping as much as they possibly can. We're doing things like the Giving Garden, for instance. They take flowers over to the nursing home. Those people get lost in the shuffle. We've lost so many of them there that just any little thing we can do to help them. And this we couldn't go over there to do the volunteer work and stuff, but we could do it through this program with this Giving Garden and other things that we've been inspired to do. Mary has done a tremendous job. I don't know anybody who is as caring and who can manage and help and get people to do whatever she needs done. We respond to her. We trust her. She works so hard and she cares so much. I think it would be very difficult to lose her because of all that she has shared with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else in the courthouse for general public comment? Do we have anyone online for general public comment? Would either commissioner like to say anything before we move on to our regular agenda?
This is Commissioner Reed. I just want to thank you all for your advocacy on behalf of your community. And it was a pleasure to meet some of you recently in Eudora. And Marcia, since you mentioned that you welcome ideas, I really appreciate that. And I just want you to know that this is an ongoing conversation with county staff. And I also will be having follow-up conversations with United Way staff and including Mary to talk about what other avenues are being explored for funding opportunities and maybe some community fundraising efforts to help sustain the position. So I just appreciate your advocacy, and I understand your concerns, and I look forward to seeing what all of this sort of groundswell in Eudora continues to create, because as many of you have noted, Mary's done a great job at inspiring lots of other people. So I'm looking forward to seeing what gets organized. Thanks for coming to tonight.
I would just say thanks for coming as well. I think I've responded to a couple of your emails, and I think we do have to look for other avenues. I appreciate your comments, Marcia, about how this was a program that was created and then brought to the county commission, and we just have to sort of look. I am interested in thinking about that, how COVID has impacted the community, and I wonder if there's opportunities there. But like Commissioner Reed said, we'll continue to visit with staff about it.
Thank you all for all of the advocacy here and the emails that we've received. We will move on to our regular agenda. We'll start with item 3.1, Planning Department, consider rezoning Z2100097. I believe we have a presentation.
Good evening, commissioners. I'm Mary Miller, City County Planner, and I don't actually have much of a presentation tonight. You considered this zoning at your June 9th meeting, and you voted and directed staff to prepare a resolution for adoption. And so that resolution is on your agenda today. The rezoning request is from the Ag 1 and Ag 2 district for about 25 acres to the CP or Cluster Preservation District. And this will do two things. One, it'll make one of the lots conforming. It is currently non-conforming in its current Ag 2 zoning, and will also make it possible for the property owner to divide the southern 20-acre lot in the future. And so staff recommends that you vote to approve the rezoning based on the findings in the staff report, and then adopting it with the resolution. And I'll be happy if you have any questions.
Thank you, Mary, and it's very nice to see you in person. Do we have any questions from commissioners? Okay, we will open this up for public comment. Do we have any comment online? Okay, we'll bring it back for discussion from commissioners. Do we have any discussion?
I don't have any discussion. My question may be for Sarah or Mary. I'm trying to I want to make sure we get the language right, because it says approve rezoning, but it doesn't say the resolution. Do you want us and adopt the rezoning resolution? Is that enough of what you need in there? Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Just want to make sure we had time for questions. So I move that we approve the rezoning of 721-00097, or approximately 25 acres, lots 3 and 4 of Antelope subdivision at 981 East 1549 Road from AG1 Agricultural District and AG2 Transitional Agriculture District to CP Cluster Preservation District, based on the findings in the staff report, and adopt the rezoning resolution.
Second.
All of those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. We will move on to item 3.2, request from Kansas Holistic Defenders to issue a waiver letter to be used in applying for federal Edward Bryan Memorial Justice Assistance grants. Sarah, do we have a presentation on this?
Just a brief overview, commissioners. I'm going to promote Sam, Allison, Natalie into the webinar. We received a request from Kansas Holistic Defenders to prepare a waiver for the DOJ grant that they're applying for. We have done this in the past. I don't know if we've done it specifically for a Department of Justice grant, but we've done it in the past for Medicaid and different Medicaid and state waivers for those grants with different agency, local nonprofits. I apologize for the late addition of this to your agenda. It was tied up in my inbox, and so we added it to the agenda late. And the grant deadline is today. So we want to make sure we try to get this in front of the commission today. And then Sam is here as well if there are any questions.
Great, thank you, Sarah. Do we have questions from commissioners?
I just have a quick question of Sam, if he's in the meeting.
I am. Good afternoon, your commissioners.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for being here. It's Commissioner Kelly. So I was doing some reading on your website about your 501c3 status. You're working through another entity as your financial agent. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so this grant that you would be applying, you can apply as Kansas Holistic Defenders, and then the fiscal management would happen through the is it called Social Impact Fund?
That's correct.
Okay. And so I just want to make sure that the grant doesn't go to Social Impact Fund, it goes to you all first?
So basically, when there is a fiscal sponsorship, because we are operating under their C3 status, the funds are allocated to them in trust, and then they are paid out to us. So the relationship that our nonprofit has with our nonprofit fiscal sponsor is essentially a trustee relationship in terms of receiving and then dispersing the funds. And they do the compliance and the oversight to ensure that all funds allocated are used for the requisite charitable purpose.
And what's the arrangement between the Social Impact Fund and Kansas Holistic Defenders? Is that?
So it's called a fiscal sponsorship. And this is typical for nonprofits that need to get off the ground quickly. There is a backlog of 501c3 statuses. And so under this arrangement, there are essentially 3 types of fiscal sponsorship. I won't go into the details there, but broadly speaking, the fiscal sponsoring agent has 501c3 status. They receive monies on behalf of the sponsored organization, and that allows those donations to be tax exempt, or all funds received to be tax exempt, as if we had our own independent 501c3 status. And so the relationship is we applied to be a fiscally sponsored project of theirs. The Social Impact Funds fiscally does this service for a variety of justice-oriented nonprofits around the country. And so the relationship is we are operating under their, I guess, fiscal, like fiduciary responsibility. They are our oversight for ensuring that we comply with all the requirements of being a charitable organization for the purposes of receiving funds and spending funds.
Okay, I wasn't really looking to hold up this process, but I just wanted to make sure we were connecting it to the right funding partner. And I think the way that you explained that is helpful. If you could send me, or through Sarah, send me whatever your agreement is with the Social Impact Fund, I'd like to just take a look at that so I can understand it.
Absolutely, yeah, we can send you that. Social Impact Funds 990. I'm sure there's going to be quite a lot that we need to submit in order to move forward on this, and I'll make sure that Sarah has that and that you're in touch with our manager at Social Impact Fund.
Thanks.
If there are no additional questions, we'll open it up for public comment. Do we have anyone in the courthouse for public comment on this item? Do we have anyone online?
I'm not seeing anyone online for public comment on this item.
Okay, we will bring it back for discussion from commissioners. Do we have any discussion?
Nope. I'm ready to make a motion.
Awesome.
Commissioner Reed, I move to authorize the I move to authorize the county administrator to issue a waiver letter to Kansas Holistic Defense to be used in applying for federal Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance grants.
Thank you. I'll second that and bring it to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We will move to item 3.3, executive session for the purpose of consultation with legal counsel. I move the Board of County Commissioners enter into executive session for consultation with County Counsel on matters deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship for the purpose of receiving legal advice regarding pending litigation. Included in the executive session will be the County Commission Counsel Terrell Mock, County Administrator Sarah Polinsky, Mary Miller with City County Planning, and Tanya Voigt with County Planning. We will return to open session in this room at 6:08 p.m. in 20 minutes. Could we just make it 6:10 to make it a round number? We'll return at 6:10 in 22 minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All of those in favor, please say aye.
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 We are back from executive session. No action was taken. We will now move on to 4 appointments. Do we have any appointments to consider?
I believe we do, commissioners, unless there's something I'm not tracking.
I don't think we have anything. So we will move on to item 5, miscellaneous. Sarah, what do you have for us this week?
I do have a weekly memo for you in the packet. Mostly a lot of just some beginning schedule items for you to start marking your calendar for. Commission was made aware that they were invited to a public picnic celebration of the Americans with Disabilities Act hosted by the Self-Advocacy Council of Kansas this weekend. I meant to follow up I'm trying to follow up on the Kansas Suicide Prevention Headquarters reopening.
That's getting rescheduled.
Okay, great. So I will take that off for next week and we'll make sure we get that corrected. And then the most important date coming up in your career as commissioners, which is the pie judging at the Douglas County Fair on Friday, July 30th. If you cannot attend, your seats are highly sought after. So let Margaret or myself know if you can't attend.
I'm going Saturday.
Oh, that's right, because you're not available Friday. So if anybody else cannot attend.
The pies are better on Saturday, I hear.
No, pies are really good on Friday. Pies are good every day, from what I hear. They're excellent every day. So it's just, but if you can't attend, let us know, and somebody else will gladly fill your spot.
I will be there.
All right, cool. And then I just attached an update from Little Government Relations on the State Spark Committee. And that's all I've got for you, commissioners.
Thank you. Do we have additional miscellaneous items from commissioners?
This is Commissioner Reed here. I just thought I'd mention, I wish I would have thought of it last week to encourage folks to maybe sign up, but tomorrow and Friday, there is a totally free and open to the public little conference in Baldwin City called Red Bricks and Storage Structures. That was generated by our great local Heritage Council and various preservation partners. I think the work that they do garnered some attention. And so now there's a statewide conference and lots of walking tours of campus in Baldwin City and lots of cool stuff. So I'll be joining them for a little bit on Friday afternoon to introduce a panel talking about the Douglas County Barn Survey and some other historical place surveys. And I've been geeking out over the GIS maps and all the different layers that we have. So I appreciate our staff for that. And it's just fun to see how many different parts of the county function in that work. So anyway, I just wanted to highlight that for anybody who's listening and might be interested in going.
I do just want to point out that our county's done a really great job of pointing out that early voting is happening now for our city and school board elections. So very excited for all of that and our new voting location off of 23rd Street. I did have one potential request, and we're hearing more and more about the Delta variant and now the Lambda variant. And we're hearing more and more about kind of going back to school and what some of our school districts are doing. I'm wondering if it might be helpful, no rush, but sometime in the coming weeks to have our friends at the Lawrence Douglas County Public Health come give us a kind of overview of what things are looking like in our local community, some of their kind of thoughts and recommendations about how our local community members should be approaching what's happening as school gets back in session, as we have folks coming back for Haskell, Baker, and KU.
I can definitely work to make that happen.
Thank you. Do we have anything else? All right, then we are adjourned.